Have you ever wondered how to figure out your retirement age? I've seen lots of finance videos and have liked so many of them that I feel like my finger could pierce steel. I'm flipping a coin in the air now, and wow, it goes through my finger like butter. Let's face it though, either my finger is secretly superhuman or that's simply an illusion. Still, it's worthwhile to hit that like button, right? To maintain your lifestyle after retirement, financial experts recommend benchmarks that are 1x your annual income by 30, 3x by 40, and 8 to 10x by 60. However, if you ask the average American about these figures, they'll probably laugh at you because they seem so far off. Who can squirrel away that much money? It all feels so abstract. Let's take a step back, though, because retirement readiness isn't just about achieving numbers. It's also about visualizing the life you want to live after leaving the workforce and taking small steps to make it happen. So, even though those numbers might seem threatening, keep in mind that every step counts toward financial freedom. And who knows, maybe one day you'll flip that coin and discover your finger can really penetrate steel. But until then, let's concentrate on building that retirement fund. Have you ever stopped to think about how close you are to retirement? Now let's explore the lives of a few people. Consider a graphic designer who earns a substantial $90,000 a year. And then there's the software engineer who makes a comfortable $110,000 annually. And let's not forget the marketing manager, raking in a cool $130,000 yearly. Now, these figures might raise an eyebrow or two. Are they typical incomes? Retirement may make some people chuckle nervously if they make approximately $40,000 a year. In their eyes, how far off is retirement? A well-known executive of a big financial firm, Larry Thinkink, issues an advisory about a prominent retirement disaster in America. There's a concern regarding one's financial stability after retirement. Among the major difficulties of the 21st century, they list retirement and a surplus of social media influences in their most current shareholder letter. The urgency becomes obvious as parents approach retirement age. How much more video creation on YouTube is required before one can truly become financially independent? Now, let's proceed to the core of the issue. Let us first set the stage. Imagine yourself at the brink of an enormous financial landscape, with an array of data unfolding before you, like to a future roadmap. Imagine this now. You're seeking to make sense of retirement numbers by sorting through them. We begin by discussing the issue. Is the retirement problem a modern issue, or has it always existed? Examining the data, we find a surprising truth. Individuals who are approaching retirement age often have savings of almost $185,000. Even though this may seem like progress in comparison to earlier decades, it is still far short of what is required to maintain a decent retirement. Because the average lifespan is rising and the baby boomer generation is about to leave the workforce, there is more pressure than ever to secure financial stability in one's later years. It's a worldwide dilemma rather than only a domestic one. Japan and other countries are already facing the challenge of an aging population, with a sizable proportion of the population being 80 years of age or older. Additionally, the trend is expanding globally. By 2050, estimates point to a significant rise in the old population. This is when things become even more problematic. The conventional retirement systems are finding it difficult to keep up with the rapid advancements in technology and economic changes. Many people are ill-prepared for their older years as a result of a growing gap between what is saved and what is needed. What then is the solution? How do we make our way through this changing landscape and guarantee everyone has a respectable retirement? This is an issue that requires immediate consideration and creative thinking. The way forward requires bold action and teamwork, from rethinking retirement savings programs to promoting multi-generational cooperation. There is no doubt that with this demographic shift approaching, this is the moment to take action. Together we can create a future in which everybody may retire with dignity and peace of mind, and where growing older doesn't equate to unstable finances. Therefore, let's put on our work gloves and start constructing a future in which everyone may retire and enjoy a well-deserved retirement. Have you ever thought why the retirement scene has changed so much over the years? Was this not always the case? And if so, what changed to make this happen? While assigning blame to a particular generation may not be totally appropriate, let's examine how we got here. There was an alternative system in use in the past. While not perfect, it did have certain advantages. The decisions made by a generation that was preoccupied with corporate profits led to the emergence of a fresh system. Imagine a younger population that isn't quite aware of the consequences of getting older when making decisions. It makes sense. Young minds tend to be blind to the past. The outcomes looked good at first. Businesses prospered, stock markets rose, and people accumulated riches. However, as time moved on, the designers of this new system discovered that they were up against difficulties they had not anticipated. Nobody is unaware of the tragedy. The same generation that broke down the previous system is now pining for the safety of pension schemes that they once rejected. Life often tricks us with its tricks. Pension plans, which were previously the foundation of retirement security, began to disappear. Businesses discovered they were expensive, particularly with an increasingly mobile workforce. Individuals were no longer content to work at one job for life. Mobility replaced loyalty. Almost half of all workers had pension plans by the 1980s. By now, that number has shrunk to a negligible percentage. We now have the Revenue Act of 1978, which permits tax deferral on retirement investments. The current 401k was accidentally made possible by this clause, which was once designed to be an addition to pensions rather than their replacement. But that's exactly what turned it into. The 401k is a widely used benefit that is dependent on employment and subject to fluctuations in the market. It is very different from the security that typical pensions provide. Thus, we find ourselves navigating a retirement context that was shaped by choices made many years ago. Even though the future may not be clear, it is important to understand the path taken thus far. Retirement security needs to be rethought in a way that accepts the future and pays tribute to the past. Imagine this: in 2024, many people still consider retirement to be a distant dream. Few people, roughly half, have any kind of retirement plan, and the majority of them have 401ks. The 401k, which was initially intended for higher income earners, excluded those with lesser incomes, which added to the current retirement issue. Although Social Security wasn't designed to support so many retirements, 1 in 5 retirees currently receives an incredible 90% of their income from it. Longer lifespans and an older population are putting an extreme amount of demand on Social Security. It's estimated that Social Security won't be able to pay all of its obligations by 2034. What then is the remedy? The question that matters tremendously is that. But first, let's consider things from a global viewpoint. The way the United States approaches retirement sets it unique from many other nations. The United States runs under a different ethos, a kind of you're-on-your-own mentality once you reach retirement age, than other countries where individuals are automatically enrolled in retirement schemes. Surprisingly, the United States ranks 18th in the world for retirement security, far behind other wealthy nations. Yes, well, behind even the United Kingdom. I mean, I have nothing against the UK. It's a wonderful country, but let's face it, their food preferences may not be improving the population's health. However, they do serve some really delicious Indian food. Thus, why does America fail so badly when it comes to retirement? The complex nature of the financial system is a major contributing factor to the issue. Most people compare it to trying to negotiate a maze while blind. It makes sense that many Americans give up in frustration rather than attempting to understand the complex structures in place. The problem is that we cannot afford to do nothing but watch as our chances of retiring decrease. Now is the moment to get dirty and attack this problem head on. Each of us has a part to play in safeguarding our financial destiny, whether it be via pushing for legislative reforms, raising financial literacy, or just beginning to save and invest more wisely. Let's get to work now. Our golden years are at stake. Imagine yourself at a financial decision-making crossroads, surrounded by an array of investment possibilities, each claiming to offer a distinct route to retirement happiness. It's intimidating, to put it simply. Your savings remain in a secure but inactive account, and you have no idea where to take them from here. Hey, errors happen. Everybody has made them. Perhaps you remember the moment you threw yourself into handling your parents' retirement accounts and quickly realized you couldn't handle it. You were forced to choose the easiest option due to the variety of options, which at the time appeared reasonable. The shocking thing is that Americans persistently defend their freedom, while nations like the Netherlands, Denmark, and Australia adopt leadership roles and direct their citizens' retirement savings. Even the idea of automatic enrollment causes some people to shake, as though giving up control is the same as giving up one's independence. Our country was founded on the idea of freedom of choice, even if it means figuring out a maze of complex details on your own. The phrase, "I'll pick how I fail, thank you very much," is one that many people have heard. But in the midst of this conflict between security and choice, one thing is certain. Retirement planning needs to be a primary concern, much like auto insurance is. What then is the remedy? The United States did, however, move in the right path when it required automatic enrollment in 401k plans, something that, had it been done sooner, would have changed the course of many lives. Let's not stop there, though. Important decisions that can change someone's life shouldn't be left up to personal preference. All too frequently, unanticipated events push us to early withdraw from our retirement accounts, leaving us struggling to make ends meet. Even the best-laid retirement plans can be ruined by the challenges of managing several mortgages or unforeseen bills. It serves as a stark reminder that planning ahead is essential, particularly while negotiating the uncertain prospects of financial stability. And for those who remain outside the system altogether, the self-employed people, farmers, and independent contractors who don't have access to typical retirement plans, their exclusion highlights how urgently the financial sector needs to become more inclusive. Ultimately, it is everyone's right, regardless of work status, to have the chance to safeguard their financial future. However, education is crucial. Even the most solid retirement plans may collapse in its absence. Many people lack the financial literacy to navigate the complex landscape of investment management. This is an alarming pattern that emphasizes the significance of comprehensive, easily available education programs. Ultimately, there are chances and obstacles along the path to retirement ready. It's a path that calls for teamwork, from legislators passing significant legislation to people taking proactive measures to safeguard their financial future. So, one wise choice at a time, let's set out on a path to a better, more secure tomorrow. Imagine this. You've worked hard your entire life, diligently contributing to your retirement savings, only to find yourself in your golden years and still holding on to 80% of your 401k funds, even though you have decades left to live. It seems like an intimate setting, don't you think? Unexpectedly, a large number of people in this situation show tension and worry about their financial situation. Plenty of savings, but persistent concerns is a confusing paradox. This paradox reveals the flaws in our retirement system's architecture. People are struggling to understand how to manage their retirement spending in addition to how to invest in their 401ks. It's a maze of confusion. It appears the system was designed to be complicated, encouraging you to seek out expensive professional assistance to understand its complexities. Profit, after all, determines every aspect of our lives, including our retirements. The bright side is that you don't have to spend a lot on specialist training or give in to sponsored content in order to successfully negotiate the financial terrain. Rather, let's make things simpler. Experts with years of experience have evaluated the following financial roadmap, from critical to peripheral. Above all, get started on your investing path as soon as you can. When it comes to building wealth, time is your biggest enemy. Subsequently, open a 401k account. Make sure you don't go over this cap when maximizing your employer's contribution match. By consulting with your HR department, high-interest debt is a significant obstacle to financial freedom. So once you've protected your 401k, focus on paying it off. Once this obligation is removed, you might want to start a Roth IRA, which has an annual maximum contribution limit. Furthermore, professionals advocate the creation of a health savings account, HSA, which offers triple tax advantages. Protecting your financial health with this action is sage advice. When you have extra money, go back to your 401k and try to contribute as much as possible. Keep in mind that this is just a guide. Set priorities based on your own needs. But if you don't want to go too technical, experts recommend this more straightforward approach. Aim for 15% of your yearly revenue as your 401k contribution. If you invested consistently in the stock market and had an average annual return of 8%, you could be able to retire comfortably in less than 30 years, regardless of your income level. This approach relies on the compounding effect. Your investments will eventually increase to the point where they can support an annual withdrawal rate of 4%, which will guarantee a consistent flow of income during retirement. I'll admit that once I thought investing was a risky bet and was afraid of the stock market. However, it actually reflects the development of our country. I was able to move forward by accepting this truth, and you can too. Investing in an exchange-traded fund, ETF, like VT, which tracks global growth, it all comes down to acting now and having faith in the infinite possibilities of the future. Go through J.L. Collins's The Simple Path to Wealth for further advice. Let's conclude now. Please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe for more financial insights if you haven't already. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.